don't do it. Never do this. That's a huge no. Don't do it, please. No, it's prohibited. You'll get arrested for that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to discuss with you a very important topic, especially now during summer when everybody is traveling around, and I think there are several things that you should know before coming to Italy in particular. There are things that you should never do here, and there are things that you should consider doing when you visit this amazing country. So if you're ready, without further ado, let's get into the video. One thing you should avoid doing is staying in touristy areas only. Of course, there is nothing wrong if you want to explore the famous landmarks and stay in the city center and, you know, get around all those touristy things, touristy areas. That's absolutely normal, of course. However, even if it's your first time in Italy, make sure to include some, off-beaten passes and explore the areas that are not so touristy, that are less known to mainstream tourists. What I'm talking about is taking narrower streets. If you have the choice between a street full of people and narrow street, obviously you know what to do. Choose the narrow street without people. Choose the areas that are not as touristy. Of course, I'm not talking about visiting residential areas. However, trust me, even in the city center, in the historical center of basically any major Italian city, there will be the areas with almost no tourists, where locals go, and still it's a historical area with amazing places to visit, fantastic bars and restaurants that you'll enjoy, and you will see the city as locals see it. This is my tip number one always: avoid touristy areas. I highly recommend you to check out my travel videos if you need some inspiration for less touristy places, and in particular if you're planning to visit Florence or Milan this summer. I will leave you the links up here and also in the description box for my non-touristy Florence and non-touristy Milan. My next tip is still linked to avoiding the crowds of tourists, and that is, do not choose the restaurants and places to eat where you'll see people queuing outside around lunchtime. Just to give you an example, Florence, lunchtime, right around the corner from Palazzo Vecchio, there are several places that you will always see so crowded. There will always be lots and lots of tourists waiting outside to get seated, and you'll end up waiting for hours there to get your sandwich, to get your panino. Whereas if you go a little bit further on the same street, you'll find amazing places that will serve you amazing food without tourists. Just because, that's the psychology of people. You go somewhere, you don't know where to eat, you see people queuing outside, and you get there. Don't do it. Never do this, because it might be a good place. I can guarantee you that. It might be a bad place as well. However, don't waste your time waiting in lines. Look for more authentic places, look for places where locals go, look for the places where there will not be crowds of tourists. People waiting outside does not equal to high quality food, trust me. Moving on to the next tip. Do not expect everything to work the way it works home, and also do not expect everybody catering to your whims because you are a tourist. That's really important, guys, to know. It makes me really mad when I see foreign tourists trying to enter Italian cathedrals, for example, with bare shoulders or wearing shirts. In Italy, you're not allowed to do so. It doesn't have to do anything with your religious beliefs, only with the respect you're showing to the country you're visiting. That's really important. I've seen tourists making a scene and being offended because they were denied the entry. That's ridiculous, guys, honestly. Sometimes you'll be offered something to cover yourself up. Other times you will just be denied the entry, and that's how things work here. You just have to accept it if you're coming here. And not only about churches and cathedrals, I'm just talking about general rules of behavior. Sometimes you just have to remember about showing some respect to the country you're visiting, and understanding that there might be different rules and different societal expectations in the place you're visiting. And if you are visiting, even if you're a tourist, just try to be nice and just try to be respectful. Even if you're visiting for a very short time, trust me, A little respect goes a long way. Guys, if you are new here, I want to welcome you to my channel and remind you to subscribe and hit the bell button down below so you can get the notifications of all of my upcoming videos. I'll be so happy to see you join our lovely community. I make travel vlogs and travel videos, and I talk about expat life and traveling to Italy a lot. I post videos usually twice a week, so I can guarantee you that you'll be entertained and hopefully you'll be inspired to come here to Italy. So don't forget to subscribe. My next tip might be a little bit of an unusual one. However, I have to tell you that I've learned this not so long time ago from a friend who works in this field. Do not throw coins into the lakes and natural water reserves, because it is actually very bad for the aquatic ecosystem, whether it's a marine ecosystem or just sweet water. Doesn't really matter. And also, some water inhabitants might actually mistake your coin for food, which is super bad, as you can imagine. And I know that it is a common thing for tourists to throw the coins and stuff. Don't do this because it's really bad. Fountains are okay-ish. However, I don't really think that it's a good idea either, but at least if you want to do it, like the Fountain of Trevi in Rome, that's a very common thing there. Tourists go and throw the coins there, and then these coins are being retrieved and hopefully they go to the city budget. However, try to avoid doing the same thing with the natural bodies of water. Moving on to the next don't. Do not sit on the monuments, do not try to climb the monuments even for a photo, even if it's a once-in-a-lifetime photo, even if it's your much dreamed trip or anything. Please avoid doing that because you're damaging the monuments. Imagine thousands of people trying to sit on the monument or climb this monument daily, on a daily basis, trying to climb up a statue for a picture. That's absurd, guys. It could really damage the monuments that are centuries old, and I highly recommend you to avoid doing that. In some places like Venice, it is actually prohibited to sit on the statues and monuments, and in other places it's not very desirable that you sit on the fountains, for example. Be respectful. Remember that all these fountains, every monument, every statue, every fountain in Italy is probably very old and very valuable and very important. That's the country that is an open-air museum, and you have to treat it as such. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is the thing that I talk about on a regular basis, and probably everyone around talks about it on a regular basis. However, it's happening all the time. Do not swim in the fountains or in the canals if we're talking about Venice. Paradoxically, it's happening every single year. This year it happened once again. It's June, guys. It's only June. We're almost at the beginning of summer, basically, and there have already been the news about people swimming in the canals of Venice. I have no words about it. That's ridiculous. However, there are still people who get this idea that they're allowed to swim in the canals. No, it's prohibited. You'll get arrested for that. You'll get arrested if you swim in the fountains. And yes, there are people swimming in the fountains. There are also news about people swimming in the fountains in Rome, for example, Make sure you don't do it, and watch your kids so they don't do it either. And just a few quick and funny things to lighten this whole chat up before I finish, guys. There are a few more don'ts that you should consider when visiting Italy. Remember to not put ketchup on your pasta. Remember that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, and remember to always eat whatever you've ordered at the restaurant, because I guarantee you that the chef will be very offended if you leave anything on your plate, and especially if it's a small, family-owned trattoria or osteria. Chances are the chef will come up to you and you have to explain yourself and explain that you are full and you can't really finish it. But yeah, to avoid these explanations, it happened to me, guys, when I maybe ordered a dish that was too big, or ordered an appetizer and then the main dish, and I couldn't finish it, and then I felt so bad because the chef came up to me and asked me if I didn't like it, and I obviously loved it. However, I just couldn't finish it because I don't eat that much. So keep that in mind, guys. If you don't want to offend anybody, if you don't want to explain yourself, do not order more than you can eat. And that's it for today, guys. Please don't be offended by my words, because this is just a friendly reminder of the common rules, common behavior rules that everybody should follow, honestly, anywhere, not only in Italy. However, once again, I want to remind you that Italy is an open-air museum. And every city here is so unique, with unique architecture and unique history and unique landmarks, so they deserve to be treated with respect, with due respect. And yeah, that's, as I said, just a friendly reminder of something that you have to keep in mind when visiting this amazing country. As always, guys, please don't forget to put a thumbs up, comment and share this video with your friends so I can make more videos like this and more travel vlogs as well. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on Monday. Thank you guys for being here and enjoy your day.